All right, let's take you live now to Los Angeles, where Adam Schiff is speaking now. Let's listen in.
And I won't say it was without its bumps along the way. I seem to recall, although it's a little hazy, that within hours of our announcement, a certain Kevin McCarthy kicked me off the Intelligence Committee. Yeah, that was my reaction, too. And then, at the urging and badgering of Donald Trump, Republicans censured me for holding him accountable. You know, I viewed it that way. And then Trump would attack me after rally after rally. And I think all those things were basically what we would call Wednesday. But you had my back every step of the way. Every step of the way. You helped us build the biggest grassroots campaign for Senate in California history, and I cannot thank you enough. I want to thank, in particular, I want to thank my family. My wife, Eve, is here tonight. This is my wife, Eve. I want to thank... I want to thank you all. Thank you all so much. We are so lucky to live in a democracy where we all have the right to protest. We are so lucky to live in that kind of democracy, and we want to make sure that we keep this kind of democracy. So you had a chance to meet my wonderful wife, Eve. Thank you. Thank you. So I want to thank you all. I want to thank you all so much. And in particular, in addition to my wonderful wife, Eve, I also want to thank my daughter, Alexa, and my son, Eli. It would not be possible to get through all the travails of these challenging times without my incredible family. I also want to thank my brother Dan and my brother David, who is also here this evening. And I want to thank all of my constituents as well.
Wow, Devin and Jules, what an incredible moment. It sounded like Adam Schiff in his basically victory speech was being drowned out by ceasefire now protesters talking about, I assume, the war in Gaza.
Either a planned or a spontaneous chant that rose up amongst some of the people in the audience tonight. It looks like there is some kind of disruption and perhaps an effort now as his essentially victory speech tonight is now sort of effectively at a standstill until they're able to gain control of some of the protesters that are in that audience tonight chanting ceasefire now. He has tried a couple of times to resume his speech, but he has each time has been drowned out by the people in the audience tonight for whom the issue of the war in Gaza is one of the issues that has really kind of put a finger on the scales of presidential and national politics.
Yeah, we have Katie Nielsen live there, so we'll definitely get a read from her. But I am surprised because they had this gathering all evening long, and then for him to get up and give this speech and yet to be, met with these protesters.
Yeah, let's go ahead and listen back in. It sounds like he's speaking again. Let's listen into what he's saying.
To Speaker Pelosi, the greatest speaker of all time, who gave me such an incredible opportunity to serve in the U.S. Congress and to take on some of the most important leadership roles in our democracy. I also want to thank Barbara Boxer, who encouraged me to run for the Congress and has been with me every step of the way. And I want to also thank our incredible Speaker, Robert Rivas, who I think will go down into history as one of the greatest speakers in the California legislative history. But tonight, I also find myself thinking a great deal of Senator Feinstein. Senator Feinstein, who was an incredible giant in the U.S. Senate, somebody who was not afraid to take on the biggest fights, but somebody who also knew how to get things done. And it's been my privilege to work with her when she was the head of the Intelligence Committee. When I was working on the Senate side. When she was on the Senate side, I was working on the House side. But I also want to acknowledge again my great gratitude to all of my wonderful supporters. I want to acknowledge the right of our protesters, and I look forward to working with you all and onward to victory in November. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, and let's go on and win this thing. On to November, everybody, and thank you for all your support. Thanks, everyone.
All right, so we were just listening to Schiff's speech, and as you can see, it was interrupted by protesters, continues to be interrupted, almost an uncomfortable speech while he was up there, as we were kind of navigating, well, what's happening with the crowd, and where are the people that are kind of securing him while he was talking?
Yeah, somewhat of a chaotic scene in some ways, because oftentimes, these kinds of political events, they're really sort of political theater. There is a sense of control of who is in that room, and they clearly lost control of it. I think they thought that perhaps it was just a few voices that were just kind of loud in the crowd, so to speak, and they were you saw people visibly trying to remove those people from the audience. But that chant was coming from the entirety of the audience tonight in such a way that it made it almost impossible. He tried several times to basically resume his stump speech and couldn't because he was drowned out.
A really poignant moment tonight so far. We're going to check in on the fallout from that and much more coming up after this quick break.